Hello, Raw just went off the air like 10 minutes ago. It's 11:24 p.m. and I enjoyed this Raw. It was better than last week's. They could have put it together a little bit more, but it was exactly like I predicted. On SmackDown, if you missed SmackDown for last Friday, check out my SmackDown review and check out my WWE Raw predictions. Almost, I would say, 75% of what I predicted in my Raw predictions video happened on Raw. So, like I said, check out my predictions video that I did before. It was like earlier, like 12 o'clock this morning. I did that. Check out my predictions video. Everything I predicted, like I said, 70% of it came true. This Raw, it was 3 hours. I mean, look at everything. I have 2 pages. Normally, I only have maybe a whole page, half a page. This is 2 pages. A lot of stuff happened. It was a good show. It was just missing a little spice. But it was a good show. With my last review last Monday, if you missed that, like if you missed Raw last week, or you missed any show, check out my channel because I do review on everything. My last review was 21 minutes, and this is 3 hours, so this might be 30 minutes or 31 minutes. I'm gonna try not to keep it too long, but it was a 3-hour Raw, so it may be 30 minutes, so some people may only watch 10 minutes of this, but well, I don't even know where to start. You see all this stuff? These are my notes. Let's get started. This is gonna be a long time, so get your popcorn, get your drink, sit back and relax because this is gonna be a long review. 3-hour Raw, like I said on Monday. Starting July 23rd, every Raw will be 3 hours, which I don't know how that's going to work out because I like wrestling, but you don't want to have too much of it. Which means that SmackDown superstars are going to be on Raw, and which means the superstars are going to be competing more, and they're going to be injured more. They're going to need to take pills, and then they're going to violate the wellness program and get suspended. That's what's going to happen. I like Raw. Maybe 2.5 hours would be good, because I think Raw kind of ends too early. But 3 hours, that may be a little too much. And the way they filled this Raw up, if every Raw is like this, I don't know if I would watch that. It was okay, but like a 3-hour Raw every once in a while is okay. But every Monday, I don't know about that. Nonetheless, Raw took place in Hartford, Connecticut, where the headquarters of WWE are. I thought Vince McMahon would come out first, but actually Laurinaitis just came out in his little People Power hover round. He had on a black suit, so I knew something was serious. He had on a black suit, red tie. Vince McMahon cuts him off. Vince comes out in a gray suit. The last time we saw Vince was last year when he had on a purple blazer, and Triple H told him that he would no longer be the COO. Basically, he would still own WWE, but he wouldn't control the day-to-day operations. I get whatever Triple H does now. So Vince cuts Laurinaitis off. Laurinaitis came out first. Like I said in my review. I told you in my review, and I told you on SmackDown review, that Vince was going to open the show for ratings. I told you guys that, and it happened. Vince comes out. He doesn't even shake Laurinaitis' hand. And I thought he was just going to fire him right then. But no, they had to delay it, which he should have just fired them on that. And while he was talking, he messed up. Instead of saying the 1000th episode, he said the 100th episode was coming out. And you should have just fired him right there. How can you mess up 100 with 1000? Some people say he was nervous or whatnot, but it was just crazy. And then Sheamus comes out, and Sheamus gives reasons for Vince McMahon to fire Johnny right there. He told him how he got fined $500,000, how 2 months ago when Sheamus was running out, he bumped into Laurinaitis. He brought all this stuff back up. But he said Vince basically told Laurinaitis, I'm just gonna watch this whole show, and if you don't do good, or if I don't like the show, you're gonna be fired. Which kind of was crazy for me. I thought he was watching all these weeks to tell him he's gonna be fired. He watches the whole show. So the only thing that mattered was that whole show. I thought all the weeks, I thought all the time he was the general manager of SmackDown and Raw. That meant nothing. Only this one show mattered. So Johnny leaves the ring on his crutch. He doesn't take his hover around scooter with the People Power sign on there. He just walks up the ramp. He's gone. He goes backstage to find an opponent for Sheamus. Vince McMahon takes the scooter, rides it off. He almost kills himself. He tries to ride the scooter off the stage, but he does it, but he forgot to get off. Like, he was thinking about it, but it didn't work out. But actually, he was able to stand on the side and just let it push the handlebars and just roll off the stage and did like that. So he rode Laurinaitis' scooter off his stage and it stayed there the whole show. Also, like they confirmed, Del Rio does have a concussion. I know there was reports going around, but it's true. He does have a concussion. Some people say it's because his head was running into the WWE logo, which is at the top left of the stage when the superstars come out. But actually, they're now saying it was because of the Great Khali hitting his head with the head chop. They're saying that gave him a concussion. That's what they're saying. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But he does have concussions, and he won't be at No Way Out. And basically, Laurinaitis chooses Sheamus to go against Lord Tensai, which I don't like Lord Tensai, aka A-Train. All people who've been watching WWE from 2001, you know who A-Train is. I was real young back then, but I still know who he is. I just don't like him. He doesn't have an effect on me, I would say. I don't know. Maybe it's just his character, but I don't like him. I haven't liked a lot of people when they first came out. Maybe it just takes some time to get used to. I'm trying to get this short. It's already 7 minutes. Also, Lord Tensai is very mad because Cena defeated Tensai last week, and Sheamus defeated him. So he's been defeated twice. Sheamus was able to hold on. Head to head. Oh yeah, I mean it was a good match. It was the head-to-head match. Like, it was a good match to open the show. It's like a good 10-minute match. I mean, the Lord Tensai didn't necessarily dominate Sheamus, and Sheamus didn't necessarily dominate Lord Tensai. It was a good match. And for the first time, Lord Tensai was on the turnbuckle. That's the first time I ever seen him go on the turnbuckle. But Sheamus gave him a bro kick, and it was over. And also at the beginning of the show, Fire Johnny was trending. So if you're follow WWE, or like I do, most of the information I get is from Twitter. I mean, Fire Johnny was trending, so that should have been more motivation for Vince to fire Johnny right there. But I'll get to that later on my review. I'm still in the first half. Oh man. Sheamus gives Lord Tensai a bro kick, that instant match. But after the match, that man who comes out in the beginning of interest and throws out the dust, his worshiper, manager, whatever you want to call him, Lord Tensai destroys him. And also during the match, his tattoos were wiping off. Even though I think the tattoos right here are real, but that's just makeup. They were wiping off. People made a big deal about that on Twitter, so I decided to include it in my review. And since Lord Tensai didn't defeat Sheamus, Vince McMahon gave him one strike. He didn't mention any more strikes throughout the whole match, throughout the whole show though. So he got strike on for that. Also, there was a video after that. It cut to a video and it showed Teddy Long and Vicky backstage. Even if you don't bring Edge back, give Teddy SmackDown and give Vicky Raw. My original plans were to have Teddy Long take SmackDown and for Edge to have Raw. But it depends. But basically, Teddy sets up the match. Vince McMahon said, "What are you going to do now since Del Rio can't face Sheamus at No Way Out?" So Laurinaitis turns to Teddy, and Teddy suggests a fatal four-way elimination style match between Ziggler, Swagger, the Great Khali, and Christian. So that match is comes later on. This was a good match. This shows why Teddy Long should have been the general manager. Not necessarily both shows. Give Teddy SmackDown, let somebody else have Raw. But Teddy sets up the match. They also show, they keep showing these videos about everyone's favorite Raw moment. They showed the video of Seth Green on Raw. I don't remember it, actually. That probably was one of the Raws that I missed about a couple years ago. If you don't know who Seth Green is the creator of Family Guy, which is a good show. If you haven't watched it, you should. So basically they showed a match of when it was 6-man tag and Seth Green was on the team of Triple H and John Cena at the time. So they showed that video, and then R-Truth was doing an interview backstage. The crazy part about this is, before Raw, during the weekend, even a WWE referee on Twitter confirmed this. I follow a lot of people on Twitter that are associated with WWE. I won't say his name, but even a WWE referee confirmed on Twitter that R-Truth is hurt. Now, the way WWE played it off, they had R-Truth doing an interview, and the Big Show comes from behind and attacks him. So WWE tried to play it off like the Big Show attacked him and caused him his injury, when in all actually R-Truth was already injured to begin with before the show started. They tried to make it seem like the Big Show attacked him and made him hurt when he was already hurt. So that was just crazy. I don't know why they did that. But on to the second page. 4 and 5. Then we have Santino, Marella, and Layla. I told you Layla was going to return in my Raw predictions and in my SmackDown predictions. Santino and Layla, it was a mixed tag team match. We haven't had a mixed tag team match in a long time. Versus Ricardo, Rodriguez, and Beth Phoenix. The Divas haven't been on Raw for at least 2 or 3 weeks. And also, I wonder what happened to Michelle McCool. Is Michelle McCool coming back? I mean, who knows? But the surprising thing about this is that I thought Santino and Layla were going to win, because Beth Phoenix had Ricardo Rodriguez at her partner. But somehow, Beth Phoenix was able to pull off the win. I don't know how, but she did it. And after the match, Santino and Ricardo were in the ring, and Ricardo, he had on a white shirt and black pants. Santino pulls off Ricardo's white shirt, and he had a Justin Bieber shirt on. It was a tight Justin Bieber shirt. I don't know how you can respond to that. I don't know. Why do you have a Justin Bieber shirt? Ricardo, I don't know. That was just weird. I don't know. He had a tight Justin Bieber shirt on. Also, DX returns to... So that was the end of that. Beth Phoenix won. DX returns to the 1000th episode of Raw. July 23rd. Every Raw will be 3 hours after that. But DX returns to Raw. So basically, because the Big Show took out R-Truth during the interview, even though he was already hurt before that, Kofi Kingston marches into Laurinaitis' office and said he wants to face the Big Show, and Laurinaitis sets up a steel cage match for Big Show and Kofi Kingston, which will actually happen later on. It was all set up. The thing about this show just seemed so set up. They already had a steel cage there, so he would have to knew that the Big Show was going to attack R-Truth, basically. But, and also, Otunga was backstage talking to Vince. Otunga was actually, he wasn't with Laurinaitis. He's with Vince the whole show, talking about trying to get a job, basically trying to become Raw General Manager. So basically, he was stabbing Laurinaitis in the back. Throughout the whole show, he kept trying to get Vince to hire him as the Raw General Manager. And then Daniel Bryan comes out. This is before that match is set up. Later on they have a match. Daniel Bryan comes out. And then CM Punk comes out. Daniel Bryan wasn't talking. He was just basically talking about the four-way love triangle that's been going on. There's a four-way love triangle going on between Kane, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and AJ. It's just disgusting. Four-way love triangle going on. I'm not sure where WWE is going on with this idea, but it's a four-way love triangle. And he also just talks about the match in No Way Out. And you know what I just noticed? The initials for No Way Out, the initials are NWO, New World Order. I just realized that. I realized that a couple of days ago. NWO. Wouldn't it be nice if the NWO returned to No Way Out? But Hulk Hogan's with TNA. What happened to, what's his name? The big guy. I forgot, he was just on Raw. The big guy. Kevin Nash, yeah. Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. Where is Scott Hall? But wouldn't it be nice if they returned, or even at the 1000th episode? Christian was on TNA. He's on the pre-show, so Hulk Hogan can come to WWE. A little switcheroo. And CM Punk talks about how he loves crazy girls. And everyone, and CM Punk actually called Dan Bryan the goat face, which was trending on Twitter. If you have Twitter, you'll know that it was trending on it. A whole bunch of stuff that was mentioned on WWE was trending on Twitter. And let me see. I wrote something down and I don't remember what it means. Trying to figure out what this means. Well, anyways, I think it'll come back to me. I write stuff down and I forget what it means. But anyway, in the ring, it was Dan Bryan, CM Punk, AJ, and Kane. This altercation, since they were talking about it, this sets up a match later on. It's going to be the team of CM Punk and AJ versus Dan Bryan and Kane. That match will happen later on. I'm not sure what I wrote this down. Maybe it'll come back to me. Let's see. Alright. Then we had a fatal four-way that Teddy Long set up between Ziggler, Swagger, The Great Khali, and Christian. My predictions, like I tweeted on my Twitter, I predicted that Ziggler or The Great Khali will win the Elimination Fatal four-way. Well, half my tweet was wrong because The Great Khali was eliminated first. And then Swagger was eliminated by Ziggler. So you know, on SmackDown, there's going to be something about that. I'm telling you, Ziggler and Swagger are going to have something, a feud going on. Like I said, Ziggler is trying to break away from Vicky and Swagger. Ziggler is branching out. Ziggler, over the past 3 weeks, he has been coming good. I like him. Like, he has some good skills. Like, he's been standing out. Maybe he just needs to leave Vicky and Swagger alone and just go ahead. It seems like WWE is giving him a push because he was able to beat Christian. Christian actually had an ankle injury. He injured his ankle. He tried to do a spear. He ran and he couldn't finish it. And then he tried to jump off the turnbuckle. So when he landed, his ankle. Now we have everyone gone. Randy Orton suspended. Jericho suspended. Alberto Del Rio has a concussion. He's out. R-Truth is hurt. And now Christian injured his ankle, which means he won't be on Superstars and he won't be on SmackDown. All this, we have 5 big names. 5 big names gone. You know what this tells me? That means they're wrestling too much. I know you signed a contract to be on the road, but when you're wrestling 2 and 3 times in a match, 2 and 3 times a week, that's too much for your body. It used to be Raw Superstars stayed on Raw and SmackDown Superstars stayed on SmackDown. Now they're on each other's shows, which means their bodies are taking more damage. Ziggler was able to beat Christian, like I said. Ziggler will face Sheamus for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I just see Sheamus dominating Ziggler. But it's good that WWE has finally given him a push. But I just don't think that Ziggler is going to win. Unless he cheats. But at least he has a push. But during the match, Christian did give a huge spear as a tribute to Edge. But his ankle gave out on him. He's injured, his ankle, so he won't be on SmackDown or Superstars. Let me see. It's a good match. And at the end of the match, when Ziggler is at the top of the ramp, Sheamus comes out to World Heavyweight Championship, and they just both stand there looking at each other like it's on. It's going to happen. After that, backstage, as you all know, Brodus Clay was banned from being on Raw, but Naomi and Karen were there. They see Vince in the hallway. They try to convince Vince to allow Brodus Clay back on Raw. Brodus Clay was banned from Raw after the Big Show beat him up, demolished him. So, sorry about that. And then out of nowhere, Brodus Clay entrance music hits, and this is funny. Vince was dancing with Naomi and Karen backstage for a good 2 minutes. Brodus Clay theme song. If you missed it, I'm pretty sure that will be the many videos that will be on YouTube. So if you missed that, check that out. Like I said, that dance right there had to give Raw huge ratings. It was funny. That's probably the highlight of Raw. Besides Sin Cara, who's my favorite. Besides Sin Cara on Raw, like I said in my Raw review, my Raw preview predictions. Check the video out. Like I said, I told you Sin Cara and Christian and Layla were going to be there. I told you in my prediction video. Oh my goodness, why do you stuff? Okay. So Vince dances with Karen and Naomi. Like I said, that had to lead to huge ratings. And then Ryback is on there. The funny thing about this is that they were treating Goldberg chants while Ryback was out. It's the funniest thing, because like I said, Ryback is on just the new, almost the new Goldberg. I sent a tweet to WWE. It was funny. It's on my Twitter, but it was fun that was the first time I ever heard Goldberg chants while Ryback was out. So it was Ryback versus 2 guys, probably from Connecticut, William and Fillmore. I have no idea who they are, but Two guys they probably found on the street. And Ryback, of course, Ryback demolished him. But also, this is a question, people, because I've been wondering this for the past 2 weeks. Does Ryback entrance have pyro, or is that just the noise of pyro? Because he comes out, the stage is blank, and then you just hear this boom noise, and this whole stage lights up. Then you hear another boom. So, is there pyro, or is that noise? If anyone was at Raw live, or has been to SmackDown recently, I haven't been since last year, and Ryback wasn't around back then. I wonder, does he have pyro in his entrance? If he had pyro, I think they would show it. But he has the pyro and noise, but they don't show it on camera. Is it actual pyro, or is it just the noise? That's the question. If you have the answer, let me know. I want to know. So Ryback defeats them. Like, it was funny because the Goldberg chants, that was funny. Besides Vince McMahon dancing, that was also funny. The Goldberg chants. And after that, next, it was the steel cage match, Kofi Kingston versus the Big Show. And then before the Big Show even stepped in the ring, Kofi Kingston attacked him. I mean, he did. Kofi Kingston was impressive during this match. I mean, those kicks, those two kicks, I'm not sure what the name of it is, but when he spins around and brings his foot around, the first one took the Big Show down. The second one, the Big Show caught his leg. He had like 3 impressive kicks, but the Big Show just demolished him. Then with that punch, that signature punch that the Big Show does, he knocks Kofi out. He was out cold. Kofi couldn't even get up. I don't know if that was scripted or what, but he could not get up. They had to call for the bell. They didn't call for the bell. Actually, I don't know if the Big Show knew what was going on or not, but he just walked out. They opened the door and he just walked out. Like, Kofi couldn't get up to stop him. Why didn't they ring the bell? I don't know. They should have just run the bell, but the Big Show just walked out like nothing. Like, he put his foot out and he just walked out. That's the first time I ever seen somebody just walk out. Like, walk out the cage match. So, Kofi Kingston was out. Hopefully he's alright, because R-Truth is missing. If Kofi is Kingston, that means we can't have any more tag team championships for at least a couple weeks. But, Cena. Also, Hornswoggle was backstage. Hornswoggle was on SmackDown last week. If you missed that, check out my SmackDown review. Hornswoggle just came back. I'm not sure what his role in WWE will be. So far, he's been backstage. It's almost 30 minutes, but Hornswoggle's backstage. Last week, he was promoting JR's barbecue sauce. Maybe JR's barbecue sauce isn't selling good, or they trying to promote it on the show. Maybe they just doing it to help him. Maybe it's doing good and they trying to help him get even more sales. But they've been promoting JR's barbecue sauce. They promoted it all last week. And they promoted this week too, because Vince says sauce it. They're promoting it, his barbecue sauce. Maybe it isn't selling as good. That's why they're doing that. And also, Otunga tried again to get Vince McMahon to hire him for Laurinaitis' job backstage. I don't think Laurinaitis found out about that. He's basically backstabbing Laurinaitis, because he's been Laurinaitis' sidekick. Every time I see him, he has a coffee cup and the Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air vest on. It's also weird. I saw William Regal backstage. I haven't seen William Regal in a long time. I didn't even know he still wrestled. Maybe he's on Superstars, but I don't remember seeing him for a long time. But that stuff happened backstage. And then we had Sin Cara versus Hawkins, Kurt Hawkins, which was also a former Edge head from 2007 with Zack Ryder. Like I said in my other videos, I like Zack Ryder more as a Edge head than I do now. He needs to pop in the ring. He's a good wrestler. He just needs to go out, like go hard out more. And Hawkins, why is he still under contract? He's on Superstars. They just need to get rid of Superstars and bring Yoshi. The only person from Superstars that I would want to save is Yoshitatsu. Fire all the other people who we don't care about. But Sin Cara won the match. Sin Cara looked good. He's been back in the WWE for 2 weeks. Like I said on my SmackDown review and my Raw predictions video, you're going to see Sin Cara and Christian 2 times a week because Randy Orton and Chris Jericho are gone and they need to fill the slots. But Sin Cara looked good during the match. He really did. I liked him. Sin Cara needs a push. He can be the next World Heavyweight Champion, or WWE Champion, or Tag Team Champion, Intercontinental Champion, or United States Champion. Sin Cara deserves a belt. But WWE needs to give him a push like they gave John Cena. But Sin Cara defeated Kurt Hawkins. Then it was a scene backstage. Dan Bryan and Vince were talking backstage, and Vince McMahon basically makes fun of Dan Bryan because Dan Bryan lost the belt at WrestleMania in 18 seconds. And then on Twitter, that's where I get half my information from. There were reports that Vader was spotted near the arena in Hartford, Connecticut, and it was true because Heath Slater, another person who, why is he still under contract? Who knows who Heath Slater is? He doesn't have an important role on WWE. He's on Superstars, but he isn't a big name. He shouldn't be under contract. Like Jinder Mahal. Get rid of all these people. I don't want to say people. I mean, it sounds mean, but they aren't doing anything. So Heath Slater was supposed to be against a mystery man. They showed the camera backstage with the 1000th episode on the door. Turns out the mystery man, the blast from the past was Vader. I'm not familiar with Vader at all. That's from like the early 90s when I just started watching wrestling too. 2001, 2002, and I was real young back then, so I don't remember who Vader is. I do know, I've heard the name before. I know he did face The Undertaker once. I do know that, but I don't remember him personally. That was from long ago. And there were reports on Twitter that he was spotted near the arena, and it was true because he was there. He went against Heath Slater, and Vader, using the Vader bomb, was able to beat Heath Slater. And Vader time was actually trending on Twitter. He looked okay. I guess he probably has to be in his 60s by now. Correct me if I'm wrong, 50s or 60s. He looked okay during the match. He did kind of have a couple mess ups where he couldn't get a good grip. I guess because of his age and because of his weight. But he was good. I mean, for the first 5 minutes of the match, he was good. Then after that, I guess he got tired. But it's understandable because of his age and his size. So I'm not going to... You can't pick on that. But Vader won with the Vader bomb against Heath Slater. And then the camera went backstage, a scene backstage. And so CM Punk and AJ getting ready for the match later on. That was to come. The match that was about to come up next, actually. And they both had on matching shirts. And AJ gives CM Punk a kiss backstage. This basically confirms what I've been saying for the past 2 weeks. A 4-way love triangle between CM Punk, Kane, Dan Bryan, and AJ. Just weird. It's something like out of Jerry Springer or Maury or... I don't even know. Just weird. Wow, it was just weird. And during the match, everyone comes out. And I must say, it was a good match. It was a good... How long was the match? Like 15-minute match? But whenever Daniel Bryan and Punk get in the ring, it's always good because they both have similar fighting styles. Look at their wrestling ring attire that they wear. It's similar. They both are are good technical wrestlers. So whenever they get in the ring, it's always a good match. I enjoyed the match. It was okay, but the part that almost made me lose my appetite, like I said, I tweeted this. They could have did this differently, but AJ makes out with Kane for like 2 minutes. It was the most disgusting thing I ever saw. It was just... I don't know. It was just disgusting. I don't know. I remember when Kane, back in 03, I believe, Kane and Lita got married. Back then, I didn't find that disgusting, but he got married to her. It was the whole Edge, Kane, and Lita, like, storyline. I don't know if they're doing the same thing now, but I don't know. I don't know. I felt disturbed. That really disturbed me. That was a long... Well, it was just that I noticed that Kane wasn't kissing her back. He had his lips closed, but she was just... disgusting. It was just... I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's basically like... It was basically like this. Suppose this is Kane right here, and AJ was like this. Oh, disgusting. That disturbed me. They could have chose CM Punk or Daniel Bryan. Did they have to choose Kane? That was disturbing. And then, before the actual kiss that AJ gave to, oh my god, this is 37 minutes. Before the actual kiss that AJ gave to Kane, they locked eyes for the 3rd time. They just gave each other this look. And after the kiss, Kane just walks out the ring. And he just stands there, shocked. He just walks up the stage, and Punk was able to beat Daniel Bryan. And in the ring, after the match was over, Kane stands at the top of the stage, and CM Punk and AJ just give each other these looks. Like, wow. I'm not sure where they're going with this, but it's a 4-way love triangle. First she kissed Punk backstage, and then she kissed Kane in the ring. Then after that, it was the job evaluation, which I don't like how this ended. I don't want to spoil alert, but this almost was 40 minutes long. My longest video ever. Vince comes out with security, so I'm thinking, okay, this is good. It was all set up. Vince McMahon comes out with security. And then Laurinaitis comes out. I was kind of worried by this point because John Cena hadn't come out during the whole show. I was kind of worried about the ratings. But John Cena will come out later on. So Vince... I'm thinking Vince is about to say you're fired. I'm thinking, okay, this is time for Triple H to come out or Brock Lesnar to make a big appearance. Maybe The Undertaker. No, the Big Show comes out. And basically talks about how for 14 years he wasn't able to be himself until he got the ironclad contract with Laurinaitis. Basically, make a long story short, that's what he was talking about. Then John Cena comes out and lights the whole ring up. I don't really like John Cena, but for the past 2 weeks I have, because he makes the show exciting. My highlights of the match were Vince dancing, Sin Cara match, and when John Cena came out. Even though Randy Orton is the face of the WWE. I did a video on it. It's on my channel. You have to check it out to see it. So I don't like the way the show ended. He should have been fired, you know. But basically they get into a scuffle. I'm thinking the security was there because Knights may try to attack Vince, and that might lead to a match, maybe at No Way Out or something. The security was there because it was set up. They knew that the Big Show and John Cena were going to fight. Basically, John Cena comes out, makes fun of the Big Show, like he normally does. Then the Big Show start fighting. The security breaks the Big Show and John Cena out. Both John Cena and the Big Show pushed the security away that came out with Vince. But they knocked them out. So then Big Show and John Cena are fighting again. And then Vince McMahon tries to break up the match. John Cena and Big Show fighting. But Laurinaitis just pulls back Vince. And Vince kind of stumbles. Then John Cena gets up. I don't know if it seemed like this wasn't a mistake because you control where your punch goes, but the Big Show knocked out Vince McMahon. He was knocked out like Kofi Kingston was knocked out. And then Laurinaitis just tells Vince to get out of here. So Big Show runs up the ramp. Laurinaitis got his crutch. He walks out. John Cena stands in the ring, surprised like he just won the lottery or something. He stands there. The show goes off like that. And I'm like, come on. I knew they were going to do that. And Laurinaitis wasn't on SmackDown last week, so I highly doubt he will be on this SmackDown. He just might. So they're doing this, you know why they did that? So we can watch No Way Out. I'm not going to pay to watch No Way Out, though. I'll just wait to see what happens next week on Raw, but he should have been fired right there. He may even be on SmackDown. They made us wait the whole 3 hours thinking we're going to see him get fired. But they didn't do that. They did that because of ratings. If they would have fired him as soon as the show came on, then people probably wouldn't have watched it. So they dragged it out. And Vince McMahon gets knocked out. Which means Laurinaitis still probably has another week on Raw. So he'll probably be on SmackDown. He was on Superstars last week. So we probably won't know what happened to Laurinaitis until next Monday. Didn't want to keep the video this long, but so basically, I can guarantee you that Vince will be on next week's Raw because he can't finish the job, and I don't think they're going to go to SmackDown. So in order to find out what happens to the Big Show, we're going to have to watch SmackDown. I mean, not SmackDown, Raw. But we may even find out at No Way Out. I'm not sure. If I find out anything, I'll make a video about it. Either at No Way Out or next week, Monday Night Raw, we'll find out what happened to Big Show since he knocked out Vince McMahon in the middle of the ring. I didn't like the show. I didn't like how it ended. But on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 9.4. The reason being, it would have been nice to see Cena in a match, even though I don't like him personally. I don't like him. I like Randy Orton. It would have been nice if Vince McMahon wouldn't have got knocked out at the end. They should have had a Diva Battle Royal. And it could, I don't know, it was missing something. And I don't like the fact that they tried to make the Big Show, R-Truth was injured, and then they had the Big Show attack him to make sure, to pretend like he was the Big Show injured when he was already injured. That kind of made me mad because I already knew about it. But I give it a 9.4. It was a good show. It was better than last week's, and I gave last week's 5 stars. So if I would give this one, if I was doing a 5-star rating, I would give this 4.5 stars. It was 3 hours. They could have did it better. I mean, it's improving. I like improving, but they could have did better. I don't know. I mean, that's the end. That's my Raw review. 45 minutes long, my longest video ever. If you watched this whole thing, thank you for watching. I know people probably watched the first 5 minutes and turned it off. Like I say every time, and I'm going to say it for the millionth time. If you like this video, you can like it. If you dislike it, you can dislike it. If you disagree with anything that I've said throughout the whole video, leave me a comment. You can get a response within 24 hours. Or if you want to debate about something wrestling related, you can leave a comment. I have a question about the Ryback thing. Let me know, does he have pyro during his entrance, or is that just the sound? And tell me how you felt about 3-Hour Raw for June 11th, 2012. Give me your opinion, your feedback. Like I said, I'd like to hear from people, other wrestling fans, how they felt about Raw. Check out my channel. If you missed SmackDown review, if you missed SmackDown last Friday, check that out. If you missed TNA last Thursday or Superstars, check that out. Like I said, you basically have to check out my whole channel. And my next video, not sure what I'm going to do. Since it's 12:09, not sure if I'm going to do a video today and Wednesday. But Thursday there will be another Superstars and TNA review. And Friday there will be a SmackDown review. So, if you want to see more of these videos and you like them, subscribe.